Welcome to the City Current Radio Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations powering the good in our community. And we get to kick it off talking about health and making sure that our bodies are well adjusted. We're here with the owner and founder of Mid South Chiropractic, Dr. Brittany Kasprack. And Dr. Brittany, how are you doing?
I'm great, Jeremy. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So you are a cityCURRENT partner. I personally use and highly recommend you and your team. You're amazing at what you do, and you've been able to work wonders for me and my back. But let's start on your end with a little bit of the story, because it starts with you and a horse riding accident that really kind of sets in motion this love and passion for chiropractic care. So tell a little bit of your personal story.
Absolutely. I've always been a horse rider since I can remember. I've grown up around horses. It's always been a big part of my life. And I had a horse actually rear up and flip over on me, which created a good bit of damage to my spine. But at the time, we didn't know about it. Luckily, I got up and I walked away, scotch-free as far as what we could see. And I didn't have anything, major. But then over the next couple of weeks, days, I started noticing headaches. And these headaches were progressing. They were getting worse. Each day I would go to school because I was 12. So, I would go to school and I'd be calling home from the nurse's office. So long story short, my mom eventually said, she was a longtime chiropractic patient. She finally said, well, let's take you to the chiropractor. Let's see if they can help you. And that's where it really all began. So in Germantown, my mom took me to the chiropractor. From there, it changed my life. It got me back in school, normal, able to, sustain through a full day. And eventually the headaches went away. And luckily, I am not a headache patient anymore. I always feel for those people because if I get a headache for 3 minutes, I think my world's ending. So it really got me back in the game, and it got me interested in helping people. And then when I went through school, I thought, well, maybe I want to do something in healthcare, but I don't really know what. I kind of always thought chiropractic was for men. So I had never seen a female chiropractor. And I thought, well, there's no way I can do that. And then, as time progressed, my mom kept pushing, why don't you try chiropractic? Why don't you try, chiropractic school? Why don't you look into that? And eventually I did. And the rest is history. I love it. I haven't been to work a single day since I've been a chiropractor. I've just changed a bunch of lives. So it's been great.
Well, and I love the fact, as you alluded to, being a woman-owned business, being a woman in this space where it's predominantly male-dominated, that is different. But you yourself are taking a leadership role in terms of bringing on students and making sure that you're mentoring and guiding them and getting more, not only chiropractic doctors and doctors of chiropractic involved in the industry, but also more women involved. And I think that's a big piece of your push and what you're doing, which I love. Go ahead and talk about Mid South Chiropractic overall in terms of the different locations, and just talk about Mid South Chiropractic.
Absolutely. Mid South Chiropractic is all about a big dream. It's a purpose-driven, passionate place to be, to work, to change lives. It's a great place for people to come in and see a different side of healthcare. They're able to find that, they're not needing to depend on immobility, pain pills, things that have hindered their lifestyle. So, we're all about changing lives, but really just started with a little dream. I would have never thought we'd grow to the point where we're at. And now that we have, we're pretty unstoppable. We're going to keep going. And we're very proud to, have been able to change as many lives as we have. And again, it's empowering. Once you, change so many people's world for the better, all you want to do is do more of it. And so we're able to give back, we're able to change. And, again, being able to expand is just a measure of our outcomes. We're able to change, and we're able to make more of an impact because of the outcomes of the patients' lives that we're affecting.
Share a little bit on your process, because it starts out, everything is customizable. So this isn't a cookie cutter, one size fits all. This is a very customized approach. And so when someone comes in for the first time, you go through full x-rays to figure out, okay, what's actually going on. And you kind of show them and navigate the process. So talk about the process.
Absolutely. So we really depend at Mid South Chiropractic on knowing everything we can about the patient. So we want to know what we're getting into, first of all. And second, we want to know what the best outcome is going to look like. If we can get you better in, 5 days versus 5 weeks, we want to do that. So that's all dependent on making sure we have every aspect of the patient's history. So the first day the patient comes in, they'll get a thorough consultation and an exam with one of our doctors, followed by some x-rays. we're not going to treat the patient the first day because we need to be able to sit down and thoroughly review those x-rays and find out exactly what is going on with the spine. We found quite often that patients may not be aware of what is fully going on with their spine. So we can't depend on just the verbal history that the patient provides us. Then we sit down with the patients on the follow-up visit and we go over every aspect of their care and what to expect, what our outcomes should look like and what our goals are going to be. And then, from there, we're able to treat the patient and actually communicate a little better about what the overall expectations are. Our clinic takes it slow in the beginning, not because we don't want to hurry and get you to wellness, but more so because we want to make sure that we get the true fix and we get the right fix. So it's important to us to try to slow the process down a little bit, figure out truly what's going on, and make sure we give you the best possible outcome.
Talk about some of the things you'll find in the different locations in terms of the machines that kind of loosen up your back. And then one of the things that I really love is you talk a lot about stretches, and you have kind of some stretching machines and you show people how to stretch properly. So share a little bit of just some of the technology that's in the locations.
Yeah, so each clinic is going to be fully equipped with state-of-the-art equipment. The fun part about our job is that it is ever growing and it is ever changing. Healthcare is progressing every single day. And so we pride ourselves in being able to offer the very best when it comes to that equipment. We've got different tables that are meant to traction the patient's spine, allowing for better proper nervous system function, as well as getting the spine properly moving, just overall mobility. We've got the stretch machines, stretch bikes, again, just helping some of that soft tissue component, making sure that our patients are able to sustain and hold their adjustments. And of course, some of the other things that we get excited about as doctors is our, digital x-ray system. So we can pull x-rays up within pretty much 30 seconds of taking them, which is amazing for us. No more of the old school waiting days or, hours for films to be ready. And then, our clinic is completely, one of the things we pride ourselves in is completely paper-free, and we are able to see patients in a way that is, as friendly and efficient as possible to not only them, us, but also the environment. And then some of the fun things that we have, we've got the wellness wall, which a lot of people get really excited about when they get to sign the wellness wall. That basically means that they've reached their maximum function and capacity. And it's a big day. It's a big celebration for us. If a patient comes in and is quite immobile and cannot do the things they need to do to be able to live the lifestyle they want, it's a big celebration when they finally hit that point of being able to do the things that they, demand in their lives. So we get to sign the wellness wall with them. They get to celebrate. It's a big party and it's a ton of fun. But it's all a part of the patient's experience in the office and making sure that we're completely engaged in their healthcare.
Why are adjustments so important? I think this is something that is really good to understand for the health of your body. And you go online and you hear, you see some of the videos, but really there is power in being able to make sure that the spine is functioning properly and that you've got blood flow and oxygen and the nervous system is being able to send all the right communication and signals. But why are adjustments so important?
Yeah, so the adjustment is all about alleviating the pressure on the nervous system. So the spine houses the nerves and the nervous system that flows out through the entire body. And if we have any sort of interference between that tract that runs between the brain and the muscles, bones, everything else in the body, it can cause dysfunction. And ultimately, dysfunction doesn't necessarily mean pain. Quite honestly, most of the time it doesn't mean pain. Dysfunction can mean a weakened immune system. It can mean a lack of ability to have normal bowel movements. I mean, it could be a span of different things. And so for us as chiropractors, our number one goal is to remove that interference and allow the body to function properly. Now, quite often we know that pain is truly what brings patients into our door. Unfortunately, most people tie chiropractic into low back pain or neck pain, but we are so much more than that. It's all about proper immunity, proper health support, and making sure that the body is functioning at 100% capacity. So when we remove that interference, it allows the body to heal and do what it needs to do throughout the day. A big thing that we truly believe in chiropractic is that the power that made the body will heal the body. We just have to remove the interference. So we as chiropractors don't do the healing. Instead, we remove the interference and your body does the healing.
Yeah. Share some tips. You're putting out videos that are sharing tips on, especially for like men, for instance, not sitting on their wallet. So it's very simple things to more complex, but give us some of your favorite tips when it comes to taking care of our bodies and our backs.
Right now, my number one tip, especially with, the lifestyle changes we've made with COVID and everything going on in the world right now, especially as much as we've been glued to media and, just watching the world happen in front of us, we're completely in a different age. One of my biggest things is the posture that you're sitting in when you're on your phone, on the computer, whatever that might be. It's something that is going to become the next epidemic. I say that now. It hasn't been, this is me saying it probably 10, 20 years before we actually register it, but something that people are referring to as text neck. And this is where people are constantly looking down, they're on their phones. We're walking through Target with your head down, glued to your phone. And what's happening is it's creating misalignments throughout the neck. It's putting strain on the muscles that feed into the skull as well as into the mid back. And we are seeing major issues with this in chiropractic right now. I would say, unfortunately, about 80% of the patients that I see have some form of this dysfunction through their neck. And there's a couple different names for it because, again, it hasn't really been announced as the next epidemic yet. But I keep saying it's going to be the new smoking. And unfortunately, people are becoming so glued to technology that they're not even aware that, they're putting their body in a state of dysfunction. So my number one advice is bring your phones up in front of your face. I know I'm not going to detach you from your phone anytime soon. Make sure that your workstations, especially if you're working at home, are ergonomically friendly. So your monitor is up high enough where you're not looking down throughout the day. And again, you want your spine to be upright, not bent forward throughout the daily processes. So again, just kind of monitoring that. Again, we've got to do something to stop this, upcoming epidemic. And the best thing we can do is start making changes to our habits now.
I know another big one is exercise and not sitting down for hours on end. And so, once again, we are working from home. We are sitting on the couches watching TV, but making sure that on a regular basis, we're getting up and walking around and exercising. Elaborate a little bit more on why that's so important.
Yeah, you've got to have that blood flow and the motion throughout the spine. If you do have a misalignment in the spine, you're literally just feeding it and creating those adhesions if you don't get up and move around. So, maybe you can't get to the chiropractor, maybe, that misalignment hasn't been found yet, whatever it is, keep moving because you give yourself the best possible opportunity to create a solution in the long term there. I often tell patients, set an alarm on your phone that goes off every 20 minutes. I don't care if you just walk around in a little tiny circle for 3 minutes, at least get the blood flowing, get things moving. Even if you're fixated on whatever you're working on, you've got to get up and get moving because I promise you, if you don't make time for your spine and your body now, it will make time for you in the form of some sort of surgery or dysfunction where you're completely unable to work or do the things that, you thought you didn't have a bit to take 3 minutes from before. So your body will make time if you don't make time for it.
Yeah. And go ahead and talk now about appointments, how people can reach out. So your website. Also, too, I know that you get a lot of questions around, do you take health insurance? And I think health insurance now really has caught on to the power of chiropractic care. And so
Absolutely.
Share a little bit about the insurance side as well.
Yeah, so you can find us at midsouthchiropractic.com. On our website, you can schedule appointments. We've got a web chat there. It's pretty user-friendly. You can also schedule directly onto our books from our website. So we'd like to think it's pretty simple. You can give us a call, and anytime we can get you set up. As far as insurance, we accept all insurances that cover chiropractic care. So we would like to think we're very friendly in this aspect, that we will go to bat and fight for you to make sure that your insurance company gives you the services that are in your plan. That being said, we go over insurance benefits and expectations with our patients on their second visit. So once the doctor has recognized what treatment plan is necessary and made a determination for care, they provide that information to the billing team. The billing team will then come back and say, okay, patient, here's what your insurance is going to cover of this recommendation, and here's what they're not going to cover. So again, we try to be very upfront. We try to be crystal clear with our patients. Insurance is a battle no matter what. I think most people will agree that it's a little bit of a life mystery for most of us, but we try very hard to have expert level guidance in that area. So you can rest assured that we'll do everything we can for you.
We'll wrap up and mention it again, the website, phone number. How do we get in touch and schedule an appointment with Mid South Chiropractic?
Yeah, midsouthchiropractic.com. You'll find pretty much everything you need there. You can find us on Facebook, Mid South Chiropractic, and give us a call at 662-890-0012.
Well, Dr. Brittany, thank you as always for all you and your team do and for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, Jeremy.